Dr. Parfait here with the Up-to-Date MD podcast and YouTube show. Today we're talking about Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. Odell, who is known as OBJ, since his full name is a bit of a mouthful, went out of the game in the second quarter of the Super Bowl after having scored the Rams' first touchdown, but he had a very awkward injury and could not support his left leg, and it appeared right away to me the type of injury that was confirmed the next day, that Odell Beckham Jr. had suffered a torn anterior cruciate ligament to his left knee. This was his second anterior cruciate ligament, or ACL, tear in his career, and typically you're looking at close to or even sometimes beyond a year in recovery time. This also will require almost certain surgery, and it has been reported that he will be taken to the operating room in the coming days for an ACL repair. This was an unfortunate occurrence for him, but at least it was reduced to bittersweet status, because he was instrumental in the Rams' playoff run and was even a big part in his short appearance in the Rams' Super Bowl victory. He originally this season was with the Cleveland Browns, but there was disharmony with the team. I'm not sure about the specifics of their relationship, but the relationship soured, and he basically forced his way off the team, and they were forced to cut him loose and make him a free agent. He subsequently signed with the contender Rams and immediately made a big difference working opposite Cooper Kupp in the wide receiver room for the Rams, and provided a tremendous long threat to go along with Cooper Kupp's intermediate prowess. So while his Super Bowl was cut short, he really had the full experience of the full playoffs and the Super Bowl hype, the Super Bowl week, and subsequently a Super Bowl victory. The surgery will be tough, the recovery will be grueling, the rehabilitation from an ACL tear is significant, but he is a world-class athlete and already has tremendous fitness habits, being a wide receiver, an incredibly demanding position from a physical standpoint. So there's very little doubt that he can recover from this. He had already suggested that he might take a pay cut to stay with the Rams, because winning and contention is very important to him at this stage in his career. And there was even the odd statement by his all-world teammate Aaron, the defensive tackle, indicated that, well, I just might not come back next year. But if you do re-sign Odell Beckham Jr. and you do re-sign the other free agent on the team, edge rusher, then perhaps I'll come back in that situation. A bit of an odd hypothetical for Donald, who is well within his prime as a wrecking ball of a defensive tackle, interior defensive lineman. But this was just his way of stating that we need to run it back next year, keep the band together, bring these instrumental figures back. I mean, a deep threat wide receiver and a premier edge rusher are two of the jewels of a winning organization. So those positions cannot be ignored, and when they have these two birds in hand, they're worth far more than any birds in the bush. So I understand his sentiment. Perhaps he was being a bit playful in the way that he voiced his preferences to keep his teammates, but either way, I think he made his wishes very clear. But as far as Odell Beckham Jr. goes, it sounds like he may have to take a lesser contract because of his protracted recovery time, but he'll be able to rehab knowing that he's coming back to a familiar, positive situation, and that could take the edge off of what would be a difficult rehabilitation stint. So I think it works out well in the end. OBJ comes back. Von Miller, I don't know his contract demands, his contractual situation, but he is a free agent. He may want to test the waters for a big contract, or he may just be quite comfortable with the winning family that he is with in Los Angeles, so we'll see. But either way, the Rams are a very well-rounded team, offense, defense, special teams, And in particular, they added that missing ingredient, the quarterback, with Matthew Stafford this year. So they are a threat to win the Super Bowl again next year as well, especially in an NFC and in a National Football Conference that is quite down these days. So look for them to be a contender, if not a repeat appearance in the Super Bowl in 2023. So that's the state of OBJ and the LA Rams. And look for more pain, injury, addiction, and chronic illness talk on UpToDateMD.com.